Disgraced former head of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, is back, and she is now being propped up as a member of the resistance. Yes, the anti-Trump resistance. She's one of the people, of course, that you could blame for Donald Trump due to her actions, of course, during the Democratic primary, which put Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. Now, she had resigned when it became super clear that she helped to screw over Bernie Sanders during the primary by doing things like rigging debate schedules so that there were much, much fewer debates, which, if you're Bernie Sanders, if you're a relatively unknown senator from Vermont, those debates are actually incredibly helpful at getting your message out to the public. Well, Debbie Wasserman Schultz like, well, we already want Hillary Clinton to win. We're already invested in Hillary. She's a front runner. This Bernie Sanders guy, he's just an annoyance at this point. We're just going to rejigger the debate schedules to have much, much less debates, because the more people learn about Hillary Clinton, the less they like it. The more people learn about Bernie Sanders, the more they like him. So that's why they messed with that, of course. Not only that, but she also made sure that the DNC did not treat the Sanders campaign equally as it's supposed to, as it's its own charter. That's, of course, one of the things the DNC fraud lawsuit is about. She also, at her time at the DNC, lifted a ban on lobbyists. That was the Obama ban on lobbyists and donations to the Democrats, basically enabling the Hillary Victory Fund to launder money to the Clinton campaign through the state parties. Now, that ended up hurting the state parties and obviously did not go to help the Democratic Party at all since they lost to Donald Trump. Now, even with all that, guess who's back? Of course. Now, this is Mike Stonato writing for The Observer. He says that now that Trump is president, the Democratic Party has allowed Wasserman Schultz to continue serving in a leadership role. Leadership role. In a PR stunt on July 13th, Wasserman Schultz personally proposed amendments to revoke senior advisor to the president Jared Kushner's security clearance. Big news, like everywhere. Here comes Debbie Wasserman Schultz back out of the woodwork saying, let's go after Jared Kushner. Let's remove his security clearance. I'm part of the resistance. Yeah. More like resist-ish. And I got to give credit to Edwin over at the Young Turks for that, who's a pretty cool guy. Came up with resist-ish because that's exactly what it is. It's not really much of a resistance. No, if you were really resisting, you would prop up populist progressive policies that Americans actually want. That would be great resistance. Instead, it's like, no, let's take away Jared Kushner's security clearance, because that matters to regular people about this much. Anyway. Now, my question is, why in the world would anybody want to give Debbie Wasserman Schultz any kind of leadership role, especially after her disastrous performance as the honorary chair of Clinton's 50-state program? I know it's not really a good position. It's not really a meaningful position. It's more of a token thing. But nonetheless, why would you give her any sort of authority when, number one, she was super, super corrupt during her leadership at the DNC and did not actually lead to any victories, at least any victories for Democrats versus Republicans. And of course, lots of victories for establishment Democrats over progressives. Why would they decide to give her any sort of role after the disaster that was the 2016 election? I think anybody involved in that debacle should be fired immediately, gone, thrown out in your ass. You don't belong there because you don't want to win. You suck at winning. But here's the thing. We know a lot of the Democrats are essentially paid to lose. So they were perfectly fine with her corruption, and that's why they continue to reward her with these positions. Now, when her corruption came to light through the WikiLeaks emails, it had embarrassed the DNC. No doubt about it, right? So, of course, they're like, oh, Debbie, like, we got to have you take the fall for this one. But don't worry. Don't worry. We're actually going to make it so that you have more lucrative prospects when you're not head of the DNC. So don't worry. We take care of you. We take care of our own. The establishment does. Okay? They were incredibly thankful for her work in sabotaging Bernie Sanders. So they rewarded her, had to reward her with something, despite her failing at everything. Now, of course, they assumed that maybe they would reward her later on with maybe like a small position somewhere. Had Hillary Clinton won the election, she did not win, of course. No, she lost to an orange buffoon. But as you can see, the establishment doesn't blame her, doesn't blame Hillary Clinton, doesn't blame the DNC. Instead, they blame Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein, and they also blame the voters for not being with her. So, you know, again, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, not at fault according to the establishment. Now, since they don't blame her, and now that everybody's focused on Donald Trump and Russia, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr., all that stuff, well, here comes Debbie. She's back. You know why? Because they will always reward their loyalists in some way. And the trick that they use is, hey, after you get caught doing something shitty, or in the case of Hillary Clinton, losing to the worst presidential candidate that the Republicans could ever field, go hide, go lay low for a while. Hillary Clinton, she was in the woods. All right, she went hiding in the woods for a while. Now she's back with the super PAC that is going to prop up establishment candidates. And now that they think that they've got sufficient cover and enough time has passed, 7 months into the Trump administration, well, now here comes Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Look, what this should show you is that the Democratic Party is not, this is a party that has made no effort to change, no effort to evolve, okay? No effort to reach out to regular people, to progressives, okay, who are on the right side of policy. And this isn't like, oh, you need to reach out. It's like, you know, the right wing. Oh, you need to reach out to the most extremely conservative people if you want to get a, you know, a race. This is what they talk about in the Republican Party. We got to reach out to the most extreme people on the fringes. No, no, no. The thing is, progressives, they're not on the fringes. When it comes to progressive policy, you can look poll after poll after poll. Medicare for all, incredibly popular with the American people. A living wage, or at least a minimum wage increase, is also incredibly popular with the majority of the American people. Even Republicans for Medicare for all. A big chunk of them, not a majority, but a big chunk of them are like, yeah, government-sponsored insurance. It makes sense. No, I hate insurance companies just as much as you. And when it comes to money in politics and corruption, two things that progressives have taken an interest in fighting. Well, the American people are absolutely with progressives, as well as getting that money out of politics and getting that influence of corporations out of our government. So progressives are on the right side. But here, Debbie Wasserman Schultz in the Democratic Party, the DNC, they're like, no, no, no. We know that the progressives are on the right side. The left is on the right side. But it doesn't matter because we're going to go further to the right. The political right. We're going to keep chasing the right wing. We're going to target those Romney Clinton voters, those so-called moderates that are living in the suburbs. That's who we're going to go after. Maybe we can get some of those moderate conservatives to become Democrats. Here we go again, man. Look, by the way, the DNC is again, bringing back Debbie Wasserman Schultz. This is a part of it. We also have Tom Perez, who was an Obama guy who's now leading the DNC, and he's only there simply to get the establishment donors to keep donating. Except that now he's completely failing at that job. Remember, he voted to keep Debbie's decision to allow lobbyists and PAC money to go into the DNC. Now, how has that worked out? Well, the DNC is not only broke because the donors have fled, it's also deeply unpopular. Nobody's interested in the Democratic Party. Nobody. This is the direction the establishment is continuing to go. They're not going to change. Okay? What we have to do is we got to force change on them. That is the only way. Now, whether it's through creating a People's Party and trying to get Bernie Sanders on board, and I'm fine with that, or replacing corporate Democrats through groups like Justice Democrats, that's also another viable option that we can go to. I don't care what way we do it. I'm supportive of either way, okay, as long as it gets done. Because until we have a party that's strong enough to take on the Republicans and win, We're going to continue to be stuck with right-wing policies. We're going to continue to get stuck with austerity, more tax cuts for the rich, no health care, and most importantly, no hope. That's why we have to get people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton and Tom Perez out. They can go join the Republicans. They can go join whatever centrist party, whatever. I want the Democratic Party back, or I want a new party. I want something that represents the majority of American people on policy. And right now, with them bringing back Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton, the Democratic Party is simply not that party. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.